Hello, viewers. This is SP here, and this is the fifth installment of my Pokemon Final Remake ideas. For Gen 5, I gave it the name Gray version because it would be a combined version of Black and White. Yes, there will be regional forms of the Unova Pokemon, and well, for Reshiram, he would be either a dark and fire type or a dark and dragon type. Yes, yes, the legendary Pokemon will have gender too. Zekrom, she would be either a fairy and electric type or a fairy and dragon type. But like with the previous installments, you can give your protagonist a different personality of some sort at the start of the game. But in this final remake of Gen 5, the protagonist can choose either the path of truth that would lead to Reshiram, or the path of ideals that would lead to Zekrom. Both of them are located in the Dragon Spiral Tower, and whichever path the protagonist choose, In will choose the other path and receive that legendary Pokemon. Oh, in this version, both legendary Pokemon can become something like armor to both In and the protagonist. Something like either Saint Seiya or Mega Man Star Force. Something like that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that there will also be dialogue in this game. And and in the previous four final remake games, which I think I forgot to mention while reviewing the first one, or not a review, but sharing my ideas with a final remake of Gen 1. My apologies for that. And yes, XP share and stuff like that. Pre-evolve forms. Oh yeah, and there's still the dating thing. You did date particular characters depending on the gender of the protagonist with exclusive scenes and stuff. For Hilbert, aka the male protagonist, I know I have trainer, but just ignore this one, please. Anyway, for Hilbert, aka the male protagonist, he would date either Hilda, Bianca, Elsia, Skyla, Chantel, Sitlin, I don't know how to pronounce that name, or Iris. For Hilda, aka the female protagonist, she would date either Hilbert, In, Karen, or Charon, whatever, Silent, Chili, Cress, Berg, Bryson, Marshall, or Grimsley. And yes, like with the previous four, the art style would be either from the artwork from Timothy Lim or the art style from 4S's Dynazenon. Okay, here's what the characters' outfits would look like, or what outfits they would wear. I'll just show you. For Hilbert, aka the male protagonist, this is what he wears. And for Hilda, aka the female protagonist, this is what she wears. This is what Alder would wear. This is what In will wear. This is what Professor Juniper would wear. This is what Karen would wear. This is what Bianca would wear. This is what Silent would wear. This is what Chili would wear. This is what Cress would wear. This is what Lenoria would wear. This is what Berg would wear. This is what Elsia would wear. This is what Clay would wear. This is what Skyla would wear. This is what Breeson would wear. This is what Dryden would wear. This is what Chantel would wear. This is what Marshall would wear. This is what Grimsley would wear. This is what Seitlin would wear. This is what Iris would wear. She would become the full champion. The only, well, the new champion uh Alder after Alder. Hmm. And that's what she would wear as a champion. This is what Geistis would wear, and this is what the Grunts would wear. Though I did have one other idea that after the protagonist and ends battle, Geistis would summon a Crycium, that dragon and ice type Pokemon. I forgot what it's called. Or Kyurem, I forget what its name is called. But that legendary Pokemon would, would would combine with In's legendary Pokemon to become that hybrid and would instant a great final battle. I don't know. Maybe the protagonist's Pokemon would the legendary Pokemon would combine with the protagonist's starter Pokemon, and and then you would have a full battle with Geistis. Well, I haven't really thought things through like throughout the game, like adding new stuff. Just a few ideas that I have. I know it's not much, so anyway, what do you guys think of my ideas for a final remake of Pokemon Gen 5? What ideas would you have for a final remake of Pokemon Gen 5? Just leave a comment down below, and goodbye.